Hi, I'm Alicia and welcome to the Mintay Papers YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a set of 26 cards that I created for the old and new challenge on the Mintay Papers Facebook page. This is the biggest set of cards I've ever made all at once in a bulk set. To create these cards, I used the beautiful Elodie 6x8 add-on paper pack, the Elodie 27 paper elements, and the Elodie 60 paper die cuts. The old Chippies that I used was this beautiful Birdcage set of Chippies, which is one of my most favourite set of Mintay Chippies. And if you haven't purchased any Mintay Chippies, then I do recommend the Birdcage set because they're so versatile and they can be used on a variety of cards and layouts. And then I combined the Birdcage Chippies with some of the newer collection. This first one is a spring collection and it's very, very pretty. It has some gorgeous little bits of bunting and some lovely floral clusters. I also combined this Boho chippy, which has dream catches and pretty circular designs, which are perfect for cards. I painted all of these chippies white with the Mintay Creativa white chalk paint. Sadly, I lost the footage for the beginning of my video. I don't know what I did with it, but somehow I deleted it, and so I can only show you from this point forward. But the part that I've already done was very, very basic, and I'll carefully explain it to you now. I used a set of 25 or 26 little note cards from Kmart. I'm not sure now if it was 25 or 26, but I know I ended up adding a couple at the end because I had a little bit of Mintay papers left over. Trust me, there was a lot of cards. So the cards measured 10.5 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters. So I cut my first layer to 10 centimeters by 14 centimeters, and I cut 25 for the front and 25 for the inside. Then I cut my second layer to 9 centimeters by 13 centimeters, and I only needed the front papers for that. Then I used some of the tags. You'll find the tags in the Elodie 27 paper elements collection, but there's not enough for 25. So what I did was I copied the size of the tags and I made enough for 25 or 26 cards. Then I punched a hole in them all and tied some white twine through the hole, and then I attached that tag to the front of my cards. The next thing I did was I went through and painted all my chippies, and you can see the chippies in that little blue basket on the left hand side. And I painted all of the chippies, and then I went through and I started to position my chippies onto my cards. I positioned the tags on the right hand side of the card, and then I positioned the chippies on the left hand side of the card to balance it out. I had a lovely time choosing which chippy should go with which card and gluing them on to the front, and you can see how pretty they look. Every card in this set is different because they have a different sort of chippy and they have different embellishments. So even though they all look like a set of cards, they're all unique cards. I also started to add in some of the paper elements. I added some muslin or cheesecloth on top of my chipboard, and then I chose really pretty paper die cuts to add to my cards. Then I had some little lace that I added on and some ribbon in pink and blue that I've added on. And then finally a little bit of a white twine bow And then very last of all, I added a flower. And this was the recipe that I completed each of the cards with. I really loved the way they look. I think they're so pretty. And then it was just going through and continuing that process with all of the cards. And I used some of the paper elements, some of the paper die cuts, and I mixed it all together into a collage on each of the cards. I mainly put the extra paper elements and the die cuts on the right hand side of the card, and I left a lot of space for my flower and my ribbons. It's really, the pictures in these paper elements and paper die cuts are so sweet, just beautiful little birds, ladies with flowers. It's just a beautiful collection. It really is one of my favorite Mintay collections. It's very easy to use. I decided to use the All Occasions sentiment sheet for some of my cards. I didn't want to put sentiments on all my cards because I wanted to keep some blank depending on what occasion that was coming up. So you can see here all of my beautiful cards, 25 or 26 of them bulked together and ready for my stash of cards when I quickly need a birthday card or a thank you card, or in this case I used some for Mother's Day cards as well. And the main thing was that I could keep the cards generic and I can add in a little paper sentiment when I need a card for a specific purpose. So here are my completed cards. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and I hope that you are inspired to create some beautiful Elodie cards with the Mintay Chippies. Doesn't matter if it's a new set of Chippies or an old set of Chippies, you can combine the Chippies together to create beautiful handmade cards. If you want to give your cards an extra mixed media effect, you can use the Creativa paint, and you can use a paintbrush or you can mix it with a little bit of water to get a runny sort of splotched effect on your cards. You can just use some scissors to hit your paintbrush, and that just creates a little bit of a mixed media effect on your cards. If you wanted to add that to your cards, you could. And that brings me to the conclusion of this video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to make a set of 25 or 26 Elodie cards by Mintay with all of the beautiful Mintay Chippies, old and new, and the paper elements and the paper die cuts. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Mintay Papers YouTube channel, and I hope you have a lovely crafty day.